We learned that this week that Ryan Seacrest is set to be the new host of Wheel of Fortune, and longtime letter turner and co-host Vanna White is reportedly demanding a hefty pay raise to stick around amid the transition. And many are now crying sexism. With her contract ending when the next season wraps up, she's looking to make at least half of what soon-to-be former host Pat Sajak made. That's about $7.5 million a year, more than double what she's making now. But is it sexist, considering what her role is on the show, to make a fraction of what the host makes? I love Vanna White. Who doesn't love Vanna White? But she does more clapping than talking during an episode. Sajak actually does the talking and interacts with the guests. Here's an example from a recent episode. White spoke only at the beginning of the show.
White. Well, thank you, Jim. Thanks, everybody. Hi, gang. Mind if I call it gang? Appreciate that. Should I just stand here or should I? Oh, okay. Well, howdy. Good to see y'all.
Then he goes and he starts the show. Now, to negotiate a new contract, White apparently hired a lawyer who's, quote, hitting the pay discrepancy issue hard with Sony, as well as possible gender discrimination with respect to White's salary. She's an asset to the team. I don't think Sony should get rid of her role, which they've apparently thought about. I'm just saying that on any other show where the roles are not remotely comparable, the true host, man or woman, makes significantly more than the others, even if she's called a co-host. Morgan, as we were talking about this off air, you already said you were going to disagree with me, so why?
Well, here's the thing. Neither of these positions require a tremendous amount of skill. Let's be honest. I mean, Pat Sajak, he's the host, but he's not guiding a conversation. He is just preempting the turning of letters.
He's got, if you watch the show, he is literally making comments about the letters that were turned, et cetera. There is ad-libbing involved in it, et cetera. Yeah. I mean, look, on Jeopardy, even the host is sitting there with the answers in front of him. It's not like, you have to be a genius.
Yeah.
But the point is, whatever the skill level, he's still the host of the show, and she is not. I mean, they call her a co-host, but it seems like this idea that, oh, it's sexist that she's making less money than him, a lot less money than him.
But she's still making a lot of money. She makes like $4 million a year.
Yeah.
He was making $15 million.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and here's the other thing. She's moving now, because now there's a change, right? So
I don't blame her for trying to make more money. Good for her.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the notion, it's the allegations of sexism that sort of struck me when I think about what that show is. Mm-hmm. It, to me, isn't about sexism. It's about what is your role, how integral are you? Because the truth is, if Ryan Seacrest comes in and they put someone else in Vanna White's role, I don't think, look, as I said, we all love Vanna White, but I don't think that there would be a major uprising.
Well, I disagree. Right? So let's work our way backwards.
Yeah.
I would say that I would tend to agree that why do we even know about this? It's because it's contract negotiation time. And
we love Vanna White.
The people that she has hired have made a calculated decision, I think rightfully so, that they can use external pressure to move the needle internally, right? Yes. So for all these years, she's been there since 1982, before I was born, and we had no idea really how much money she was making until now. I would also say that she is more valuable to the brand today than she was before Pat Sajak announced that he was retiring. Because if we understand that the great majority of the people that are still tuning in to regular television every single day are people that don't like change, not having that face there every time they tune in for...
All right, so that is the best argument, I think, that anyone
the argument I was making when you interrupted me.
No.
That was the argument I was making.
It was, I was talking about the sexist piece of it.
Yeah.
Right? That still doesn't address the sexism piece.
Well, so the sexism piece, I think, is a calculated decision to try to get
right. I understand.
But I don't think it's honest to God sexism.
But let me finish. If I can just finish my point.
Yeah.
A discrepancy of some sort, yes, but should it be double? And then based on what we are also seeing on some of the side productions where it's sometimes 5 times more money Pat Sajak was making, I think that's the issue. Is it some discrepancy, yes, because he's the host and she's the letter turner or toucher based in this digital world, sure,
but
not.
But
double
I mean, this, when you go back
Mm-hmm.
to, I agree, she should be getting as much money as she can get. Babe Ruth once said, any man who's paid, I guess, or any woman who's paid by someone else is never making too much money, right? She should go for it.
Yeah.
But, Johnny Carson and Ed McMahon,
Right.
Like you take Johnny Carson out of the equation and something changes. Maybe it's not exactly right, but I will say the cautionary tale for Wheel of Fortune is Ralph Benershka, who was a former San Diego Chargers place kicker, who was the daytime host of Wheel of Fortune for a while, and it tanked.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.